Yep.
Really struggled running the ball the last couple of days with the elements. Of
Weeks, yeah.
Sorry.
No, I know what you're talking
Last couple of games.
Right, right.
With the elements potentially being a factor on Saturday, is that something you're emphasizing this week in practice?
Oh, you know, and we do every week, you know. Just felt like we could do some things, and, you know, San Diego State did a really good job. You know, they set a trap for you, and they do a pretty good job of it. Even when you know the trap's coming, you know, they try to control the ball. And then so, you know, I lived in that life for a long time at the beginning of my career, and we ran the triple. And, you know, you want to control the ball so that every mistake that the other team makes is magnified. So every first down you don't make, every third and short you don't make, it becomes 4 or 5 times more important than a normal game because of the times that you're going to touch the ball. And so they did you know, we didn't execute, they did in those third and short situations. But yeah, I know what you're saying. We didn't run the ball well at all at any point in time. You know, we had a couple runs that were 4 yards. I thought, you know, we did one down on the goal line when we're going fast and tempo. I thought we did a decent job of running the game. But no, it's not acceptable at all. It's not who I want to be. You know, and yeah, it's been an emphasis of practice and everything.
Is there a challenge as a play caller between trying to stay on schedule with some of those second downs versus, okay, there is some big play opportunities, but they're lower percentage?
Yeah, that's a great question, Chris, because that's, you know, that's the battle that you fight is, you know, when you play a team like San Diego State and you have the opportunities in the secondary, you're like, man, I want to throw that double post, and I feel really good about it. I think we can get it, but if you don't get it, you're 2nd and 10 now. And when your defense is holding them, those decisions are so much easier. But when you know they're moving the ball on your defense, then those decisions are tougher. All right, and so you know, and you know the thing I think is lost in college football nowadays. I mean, I don't know how many teams are out there playing team football. You know, we got guys. You know, we got offenses that are just trying to go as fast as they can and score as many points as they can, and who cares about the defense? You know, just try to score 60. But you know, I just don't believe in that. I believe in team football, and you know, when the defense is they're getting the ball moved on them a little bit. You know, our job on offense is to get them a rest when we can get them a rest, to keep them off the dang field and get some methodical first downs. And you know, that's where, you know, we failed, was to get those methodical first downs. I thought we started on schedule pretty good. We would get 5 yards on first down, and then, you know, then the second down, you know, plays probably weren't great. But, you know, a couple times we had 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, and honestly, if you don't make those, you don't deserve to win the game.
Coach, what do you make of the whole situation with Darby and turning the call and just settles?
Yeah, you know, I had no idea. Because up in the booth, the screen is actually behind me, so I didn't even know that was even in question. We were back and forth talking about, okay, we got 1 timeout left, there's 6 seconds. Can we run a play and still have time? I don't know if we can risk that, because, I mean, you don't want to, you know, hand the ball off, and then a running back reverses the field, and then he feels like he has it, and then they're laying on top of, you know, and you're trying to call a timeout, and then you run out of time. We didn't want that to happen, so we're trying to figure out, okay, do we have time to throw 2 passes? You know, we were going through all those scenarios. Next thing I know, somebody says it's an incomplete pass, and I was like, what? I didn't even know it was up for debate, you know. And so, and then, you know, all you had left was the Hail Mary after that.
Usually you hear so much during the preseason about trying to find 5 guys to go chemistry on the front.
Yes.
You guys rotate a lot of guys in and out of the offense.
Right.
Is that not ideal at this point to be doing that?
No, I mean, it's not. You know, it just goes to show you that we're not 100% on a guy or two. But it also, though, you know, you want to keep guys interested in the fold too. You know, and I don't ever see anything wrong with playing 6 offensive linemen. But no, I think it's the quicker you settle on your top 5 guys, you know, the more chemistry you're going to build. Absolutely.
What do you make of the team of Washington, and how do you run a game plan against them?
Yeah, you know, they're pretty. They tackle well, and the big thing about Washington is they put their safety so deep that they don't give up big plays. So I mean, that's their whole thing is we're going to play the free safety 15, 17, sometimes he's 20 yards deep, and they're not going to let you get behind him. They're not going to give up the big play. And, you know, it's always been said, you hear defensive coaches are like, hey, man, just make them go on 12-play drives. They'll screw it up on air. And, you know, most offenses do. They really do. I mean, it's hard to go on 12-play drives. Somebody's going to screw it up, you know, and not execute. It's hard to execute all 11 guys on every single play for 12 plays in a row. It's really tough. And they do a really good job of making you do that. And you look in their history, they don't give up a lot of points. You know, they're giving up 10 points a game. You look at last year's game that we won, we had 3 drives of 7 plays or more, and that was it. Everything else was 3 and out, 4 and out, 5 and out, you know, and they did a great job, and we just happened to play extremely well on defense, and then we made the most of our opportunities last year. And so that's the type of game you go in, you know, you talk to the receivers and go, hey, man, throwing the old double post and the heave-ho, throwing it down the field and hoping you get a jump ball. Man, that ain't this week. You know, you're going to have to methodically move the ball down the field and execute at high level under pressure, and that's how you beat them.
I mean, compared to the teams that you're already facing, the teams that you will face, this is probably the most well-balanced defense you're going to see all year?
Yeah, you know, I would think so. You know, I think they do a really good job they have a great balance of really good talent that tackle well, and then they have a scheme that prevents you from having big plays. And, you know, that's a pretty good recipe. And they're well coached. He does a great job. He's done it everywhere he's ever been, and so that's the challenge. Is we have to execute at a high level, and you know, can't turn the ball over, and you got to get first downs on 3rd and short, and you got to move the sticks, move the chains, and then just like they're saying, you know, got to win the game in the 4th quarter at the end. It's going to come down to that if everybody executes the way they're supposed to execute and don't, you know, do some crazy things and on special teams or anything like that. But, you know, if everybody executes the way it should be a very close game, should go down to the wire, and it should be really tough, an old school, tough man football game.
The TV cameras caught Manny barking at some teammates and maybe the coaches on the side. That was hard to tell. And the announcers kind of said that was not a good, or suggested that was not a good look for him. If you're around him, you know that maybe you aren't that right to do that. But just what's your stance on a player, a leader of the team, just kind of being that vocal? Is there a line you cross, or is he with his rights as captain?
I mean, you know, leadership is a funny thing, you know, and these guys are young. I'm glad there wasn't a camera on me in the booth when we didn't get the 3rd down, because you guys would have been, man, something's wrong with that guy, you know. And, you know, and I'm 51 years old, so I mean, these guys are kids, and the thing that you got to understand is that Manny's been through so much and has so much invested into this program, and then when things don't happen the way, you know, you expect it to happen, then, you know, yeah, you kind of have fits sometimes, and I mean, you can look at it 2 ways. One, that, you know, it was an act of immaturity, but also that he cares and he just doesn't know how to express it the right way, you know, and so I tend to look at it like that. I know that he cares. I have great conversations with the young man. He cares so much and wants to win so much. You know, you guys remember John McEnroe. You know, everybody used to laugh at him and all that stuff. But I will tell you what, you never question his passion for the game, and you never question how much that he cared. He might not have handled it the right way all of the time, but he was passionate. And Manny's the same way, and he's just like me. I mean, like I said, I'm glad there wasn't a camera in the booth. You know, I mean, and it's up to us as coaches to teach him how to channel those things the right way.
When is Manny involved in game plan?
I ask him his opinion on things that he doesn't like, but I mean, it's not like he's in the room, you know, where, you know, he's coming up with plays. Now, every time the kids come to the sideline and say, Coach, we really believe this is open, I run it, without a doubt. I call it within that series, let's go, most of the time, you know, and because I believe them and I trust them, and Nikhil's earned that trust, Manny's earned that trust, because I know, you know, they played a lot of football and they know what they're talking about. You know, when Nikhil comes back to me and says, Coach, he's playing me in this technique and I think I can get him on this route, it's coming. I mean, here we go. And so, because I trust him.
Is there a situational sixth sense that you develop with the head coach on the headset that you've been working with somebody for a long time that takes a while to sort go out when you're kind of in Newark, like going for it, on a 4th and 1?
Yeah, you know, Coach does a great job of letting me know early as possible that this is a 4-down deal right here. And then there's sometimes you, as a head coach, you got to make a gut decision right there on the spot, right after 3rd down. I mean, that's just part of the game. But most of the time, you know, Coach lets me know ahead of time so that the 3rd down call is reflective of already knowing that we're going to go for it.
How much do you think intangibles matter? So Arizona State's beating Washington something like 11 of the last 12 games. You guys beat them last year. They were highly ranked. Do you think that extra motivation factors much when it comes down to it on Saturday?
You know, we had a lot of motivation to beat San Diego State this week, you know, and, you know, we failed to do it. So, I mean, I think some of that stuff can play into it, and if you prepare. But if you just show up and go, we're going to win this game because it's a revenge game, I mean, it's all in your preparation. It's 100% in your preparation. And I just don't believe that there are a handful of guys I've coached in my life that turn it on Saturday, but 99% of them, if they practice bad, they're going to play bad that week. And, you know, so I think it's more so the preparation than it is the revenge factor, you know.
Coach, shifting gears a little bit to non-conference, reflecting on non-conference, what do you think as a whole went right with the offense?
I thought we pushed the ball down the field. I think if you watch our offense, that we weren't running plays that just were in an 8-yard box, and so, you know, we got guys that can make plays down the field. We trust them, and so I mean, I think if you watch our film, you got to look and go, hey man, these guys will take shots on you. This just isn't a team that's going to try to, you know, just dink 5 yards here and there and all that stuff. That, you know, we want to take shots down the field. We want to open up underneath stuff, and like I said, we have guys that can do that. I thought, you know, it was like we played 2 really tough, totally different defenses, and so, you know, and they did a good job and against us, and I thought that we handled the pass protection. Manny, I think, you know, if you look at the times he's been hit this year off of a clean hitter, I think that we reduced that significantly from the first 3 games of last year, and that was one of my goals going into these non-conference games, is either having a maximum protection philosophy or guys just doing a better job. Manny recognizing blitzes and the protection getting set the right way, and getting the ball out of the hands faster, and routes that get the ball out faster. And, you know, I thought we did a good job of that so far.
Time for one more question. Looking after the fact that San Diego State game and the running game, the way it struggled, do you think maybe there should have been more thought putting in Isaiah Floyd and Traylon Smith more snaps?
You know, I don't think it was necessarily that at all. I just think it was, you mean, I could talk about it for 20 minutes on the, you know, the scheme between the 2 different teams. Michigan State was totally different. San Diego State, you know, what they do is extremely tough. Like I said, they set the trap for you into thinking that you can't do gap scheme, and then so you try to do zone because, hey man, we'll just do zone and pick everybody up, but then your offensive line is coming off the ball like this on their zone plays, and then now they're not running off the ball. Now you're slow off the ball, and then the whole thing turns to crap, quite honestly. And you know, and that's the trap they set for you, and you know, and a lot of people fall into it, and wish we'd have done a better job, and we didn't, and you know, we need to get that fixed. So I don't think it was necessarily who was back there running the football.
Coach, you mentioned the defenses you faced, and the rush defense obviously Washington very strong.
Yeah.
So how do you plan to attack them?
You know, just we're going to go in like every game plan. I know you probably don't think it's true, but establish the run. We want to run the football, and you know, and that's what we do. And then, you know, I don't want to be a guy that throws the football 50, 60 times a game. I don't. I've openly said that over and over again. I don't want our offense to turn into that. I don't think that's what wins championships. You know, I think Danny does a great job, and they'll get with the boys over on defense, and we got to help them out sometimes, you know. And it's fun to play fast and score fast and all that stuff. We'll continue to do that. But there's going to be times where we got to go, hey, all right, man, let's slow this thing down, and we got to get 10 yards. You know, we got to get 10 yards when we need to get freaking 10 freaking yards. You know, and we just didn't do that, and we just got to do a better job. So, you know, that's the emphasis this week is, you know, moving the sticks and running the football.